I'd like to just take whatever it is that you do a lot of and make that a good, and make that a good choice.
Right. So whatever it is. Okay. A lot of us drink coffee. Okay. So maybe a good is you're not drinking coffee all day long. Okay. That's really good. You're drinking your water.
Cutting back.
Better might be, I'm not going to drink my coffee out of a plastic mug and reheat it in the microwave over and over. That would be better.
I'm Christy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I am your host, Christy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, and retired professional boxer, joined by Carrie Thompson. Thank you once again, Carrie, for being here.
Thank you very much. I want to note for all of you that are actually watching the podcast right now, we're both wearing red. However, Christy has a gorgeous jumpsuit on, and I have a very beautiful Code Red coach. Equally beautiful outfits, but one maybe from Rent the Runaway, one from Christy. I'm just saying.
If I would have known, I would have worn my coaching polo. I love that thing.
I do too. I wear it all the time. I love it.
Yeah. It makes us look smarter and official. Guys, we are here talking about a really great, in fact, Carrie, I can't believe we haven't talked about this before, but this is there's perfect timing for everything, good, better, and best. But first, let me read a podcast review. I love these, you guys. This is from Psycho Soccer Mom. And she says, the only podcast that makes sense. I am currently doing a challenge, and so I started listening to the podcast. I'm loving it. These podcasts inspire me, motivate me, and help me understand. I feel better in my daily life. My skin is better. I sleep better. I am relearning everything I thought I knew, but I was just doing wrong. Now I know I didn't know. Thank you, Christy. Well, thank you, Psycho Soccer Mom. And because that was so good, I'm going to go with one more podcast review, another 5 stars, Loving the Code Red Lifestyle by Kiers 4. Christy has changed my entire outlook about weight loss and healthy living. I'm 55 years old, 58 pounds down so far. I have 30 pounds left to goal. I've never felt better physically and emotionally. I sure love these podcasts. Thank you guys so very much for your.
We have the best Code Red Rebels, really.
I couldn't agree more.
They're just really genuine, salt of the earth. Sorry, Redmond's real salt, but also Code Red, Redmond's real salt for your code for 15. No, I'm just teasing. But they are just really salt of the earth kind of people, Christy. I love them. I really do.
Actually, Redmond Real Salt is a sponsor, you can always pick up Redmond products by going to coderedlifestyle.com/real salt.
Yes.
And, you know what? You're right. I mean, I know what you're saying about that, but as long as you're talking about salt, I'm just going to throw it in there about Redmond's.
Christy, speaking of Redmond's, I just was reorganizing some cupboards this morning and noticed I only had one big pack of Redmond's, the kind where you twist it off and pour it out. And I was like getting nervous because and it's big. It's going to take me a while to go through the salt, but I was like, I only have one up here. Maybe I should order another one. Also, I love their organic seasoning salt. Do you use that? And their onion and garlic salt.
Before we started this podcast, I just batch baked a bunch of chicken and I sprinkled, but see, I opened up the container side that you're supposed to use for spoons because I just don't want to wait. It's just too sprinkle. I want it on there pretty thick, right? Well, then I ate some and it was so salty. I was like, I put way too much on. But
it is actually salt. So you have to be cautious of how much you put on because it'll make it really salty. It's good stuff though.
coderedlifestyle.com/real salt. And you can get a discount by entering the code CODERED15.
Yes. Yes. And thank you, Redmond's, for that because we appreciate that. I do every time I order.
I do too. And I use the code as well. So thank you guys. All right, let's get to this podcast. We're talking about good, better, or best. And Carrie, it's so funny to me because we get people that come on to our 10-pound takedown challenge and, they have their what do I eat list, what do I not eat list. They have their very simple rules. And the point of the challenge is to move people from the kitchen from the drive-through into the kitchen, trying to get them just moved in a direction of better health. But some people overdo it and they overthink it.
And that is where this podcast was born. The podcast idea was born from Christy and I noticing, and we've done a lot of challenges. I've been with Christy at the time of this recording 3 years. So in my 3 years with Christy, I have seen this phenomenon over and over and over. And it's very interesting. It's almost like, well, if I'm not going to McDonald's, then I should be getting organic, grown with the the tears of monk in the Himalayan mountain, this vegetable. And so people swing from one extreme to the other. And Christy and I, when we train new staff, when we train new coaches, when we train new leaders, we always say, guys, it's a continuum. It's a continuum of good, better, best. And so that is something, Christy, even I did a live Q&A last night. Someone said to me, I was chewing this gum. I won't mention the name brand. She said, and some of the ingredients are questionable. Now it's a sugar-free gum. And she said, should I do it, Carrie? And I was like, if it's eating a pile of chips or chewing this gum that you're going to spit out eventually that maybe has some questionable ingredients, good, better, best. Well, I'd love for there to be organic gum, but I've never seen any yet. So of course I'd rather have you have the best, but the gum is better than the junk you were eating before. So it's a continuum. And this is a tough concept for people to get, Christy. Have you noticed that?
Of course, absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny because our entry point into Code Red is the 10-pound takedown, and we progress people through the lifestyle. And as we progress you through, and as you go through your weight loss journey, you're going to have different, your decisions will naturally move from good to better to best. But we don't want you just to jump. We notice such an extreme swing. People, I don't know, it's like the blinders come off, but we're not wanting you to come into the challenge and start talking about organic. And that's where I think, and I believe me when I say that, I think Mark Hyman has been a huge player in the high fat, low carb lifestyle. In fact, his book Eat Fat Get Thin was the one that I read that changed me into thinking about a high fat, low carb lifestyle. However, because Mark Hyman does so much of organic, it's got to be organic. It's got to be non-GMO. It's got to be, it's got to be raw, organic, close to the earth. I think he eliminates a fraction of the population. And Code Red, we don't do that. We don't want to eliminate any amount of the population. So in our challenges, we don't let people talk about organic. We don't even talk about non-GMO. We keep it really, really simple because that's the entry point. I mean, we've got someone who's going to the drive-through 5 times a week. We are happy that they're just in the challenge eating off the foods list.
And if you tell that person, Sally, with 5 kids, who has been going through McDonald's twice a day to feed her family, and you tell her she has to buy organic broccoli, she is not going to do it. I'm just here to tell you. And that's what we found. Now, do Christy and I believe in a lot of the concepts? Absolutely. Do we do some of these in our own life? Yes. But Christy's right. You can turn off a whole population of people if you make it a requirement right off the bat. People go, it's kind of like if you say to someone who's exercising, you have to run 5 miles. Well, no, you start them up with walking on the treadmill and then jogging to the stop sign and then jogging back from the stop sign. You never, ever, ever say, go run 10 miles. You just don't. It's the same thing with eating and this lifestyle. Good, better, best. We just want you to go through Taco Bell just to cooking frozen veggies and maybe some chicken in the crock pot. That's what we want you to do. That's your first step.
I noticed it with me, for example, we have 3,000 to 4,000 people a month on our challenges, and I work all the Facebook groups, and I keep my finger on the pulse of everything that's going on. And I notice that I get triggered, and it makes me just get angry instantly when I see a post from a brand new baby rebel and it says, oh my gosh, I wish I had a good example here. Like, oh my gosh, so happy to be eating cauliflower crust pizza instead of Domino's. And then someone else chimes in and says, that's got blank in there and you shouldn't be eating blank or something. And I'm thinking, are you kidding? And man, I mean, I can feel myself, like the Larry Terhurst comes out in me, like I can feel myself get instantly angry. And I mean, I've jumped on someone's case. I go, wait a minute. This lady used to order Domino's so much that they walked up to her door and knew her by name. And now she's having cauliflower crust pizza. You're telling me don't rip on her. She's really moving in a direction of better decisions.
Yeah, that is an excellent example, Christy. And it's sort of like, do you remember, it's been a while ago, but and I think, did we do a podcast or did we just do a talk on it? When people become Code Red rebels and hey, they watch the videos, they take their lives back, but then they get to the grocery store and they say to the people like, I can't even believe you have that stuff in your cart. Whoa there, Karen. Last month, that was you. So don't forget where you were coming from. And I kind of find that same thing. It's like, hold on. We just want to move you in the right direction of good, better, best. What you're doing now is, if you stick with Code Red, is not what you're going to do in 4 or 5, 6 months. It's not what you're going to do in a year. Even my own journey with Code Red has evolved as Christy and I've learned more. For instance, in the book, this came up in the Q&A last night, there's something you talk about that we have kind of changed our thinking on, and someone brought it up. And I was like, hey, we've grown and learned just like the rest of you guys. As we've changed and grown, we have more research, more data comes out, and we've changed the way we think about things. And that's okay. We're moving. Christy and I are moving from good, better, best. We're doing the exact same thing with ourselves.
Well, data, research, and science comes out all the time to help us understand, different sweeteners, different chemicals, different things, and we are learning all the time, and we need to be learning all the time. And we did do a podcast called "Don't Forget Where You Came From."
Okay, I didn't know if it was a podcast, but yeah, that was a good one.
It upsets me when people do that, and it's funny because and I'm not trying to sound judgmental here. But when I do see someone who is jumping on someone's case for a small, something really, really small that you don't need to worry about in the challenge, some sort of chemical or some sort of seasoning or something, and I'm hovering over that person's picture who's tearing the other person a new one. And I'm looking at that, they're pretty overweight. And I'm like, oh, if you were that concerned, like you're barking up the wrong tree here. You're putting your energy into one small seasoning that's in a taco seasoning, McCormick, and yet,
yeah, who cares?
But you're 82 pounds overweight. So you're eating something and it ain't organic, so it's like, how about you put as much energy into your own health than you are trying to fix everybody else from not eating a certain
No,
season.
I agree with you 100%. How could you eat that? Whoa.
Right. That judgmental attitude. I don't handle that really, that real judgmental. Ooh.
And even now, Christy, and this is going back to our other podcast, when I'm in the grocery store and I see people that could do better on the continuum, I don't feel judgy. I feel sadness. Yes, I truly do. I feel sadness because I remember, in fact, my niece was here visiting me and she said she looked around in my cupboards. She said there wasn't anything good. To her, that means something different. And she said, when I was growing up, Aunt Carrie, you had the best snacks. And I was like, yeah. In fact, I was reorganizing my cupboards today. I haven't told you this, Christy. And I was putting all my baking stuff on the second shelf because, Christy, I don't even bake anymore. Yeah. I used to bake every week and eat it, by the way. And Brandon goes, I was putting it away and I said to Brandon, I don't bake anymore. And he goes, we don't need it and we don't eat it. And I was like, you're right. Now, there are some great recipes out there that you can do. A lot of our coaches do that kind of stuff. I just find with helping with Code Red and stuff, I just don't have the time, and nor do I necessarily, need to eat. If I feel the need to bake, I'll bake and then give it away. Okay. So talking about the continuum of good, better, best.
Well, so hold on a minute. You just said something that I'm writing down. You just said we don't need it and we don't eat it. I'm actually.
Oh, you're going to write it down?
We don't need it. We don't. I'm going to make that into a t-shirt or something.
Sergeant Major Thompson said that. Please feel free to SGM.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's pretty amazing the way you said that.
Thank you. Then he said it. I think that he even came up with it. So, and he said it more like, hey, we don't need it and we don't eat it. I mean, it was very, and I was like, okay, good point. So, okay, talking about the idea of good, better, and best. This is the way I think of it, Christy. And I want to be able to give the listeners real life examples. And if you're ready to up your game, your eating game, your life game, whatever it is, we're not going to talk about working out, but anything in your life, if you're ready to kind of travel up the continuum, we want to give you some examples today of how to travel up the continuum in practical ways. Because I will tell you, there are some podcasts I listen to, and they're just a little over my head, first of all, but they get so complicated with what you can do that there's no takeaways because it's overwhelming. So let's just use an example. I'm going to give you guys an example of water. Let's talk about water. And I'm not going to go into great details, but there's lots of opinions about osmosis and pH and all this. If you listen to too many podcasts or read too many articles about water, you'll feel so overwhelmed that you'll just walk to your tap and you'll just fill up your glass and be done with it. Because you can overwhelm people with this idea of not moving up the continuum to good, better, best, but saying you need a $2,000 reverse osmosis system, never drink anything that's from this source. And oh my gosh, all these places in America are dying because of this horrible water. And what about fracking? And what about all these and I'm not saying these things aren't true, Christy. I'm just saying it's so overwhelming to people, even me, and I help you with the company. I'm doing this stuff all day long, and it's so overwhelming that I have to say to myself, okay, Carrie, don't get overwhelmed. What are the takeaways? It'd be like going to church and someone tries to teach you the whole Bible at once. Whoa. Okay, let's just start with the person of Jesus, or let's just start with the idea of God. Let's not overwhelm people. So we want to give you, and I have some ideas, I hope you like them, some real and practical things that you can take away.
I like starting with the water. That's a great example because you have someone who is, maybe someone who is a lower socioeconomic status. We get them to quit drinking Coca-Cola, and now they're drinking out of the tap. Maybe they live in the projects and the tap water isn't as clean as maybe some other areas. Okay, but still it's better than Coke, for crying out loud.
Well, I know.
Cola.
Yes, you cannot tell that person, go get a reverse osmosis filter. That is not going to fly with them. They just stopped drinking pop yesterday. It's not fair to do that. And that's where I think a lot of people that believe the way that Christy and I do get so far out. We were at a conference and they had water filters. Were they amazing? Yes. If I could have afforded, but if I had wanted to spend my money on that, because Christy hates when I say I can't afford it. I don't mean it like that. If I had wanted to invest the money on that, could I have? Yes, I could have taken it home, could have had it shipped to my house. But it's a continuum. But who is that going to appeal to? Only the people at a health conference. I mean, because who's going to spend that money? Do I think it's important? Absolutely. Do not write to me and tell me it's not important. I know it's important, but we're just getting Betty to quit drinking pop. And then she's drinking bottled water. Okay, so let's talk about bottled water. Bottles and plastic in general, guys, has BPA. We've all heard about this. It was a while ago that we took BPA out of bottles, baby bottles, and something else. There were two things I took it out of. And that was because of body weight of a baby compared to the amount of exposure they would have with the BPA all the time. You got to figure if you weigh 8 pounds and you're drinking all of your food out of a bottle that has a chemical that's bad for you in it, every time you heat it up, it's released into the bottle. People are sticking bottles in the microwave. That body weight to chemical to chemical ratio is pretty high. And so, you really have to make sure that that is not going to be a problem. So I think that's super important to remember. So that's what they did with babies. So BPA is this terrible chemical. It's pretty well known, but there's all different kinds. So it would be better. So good, don't drink pop. So you're drinking water, good. Better would probably be to not drink it out of plastic bottles at all. If you have to, it's still better than a Coke out of a plastic bottle, because the plastic bottles might sit in warehouses where they've gotten really hot and the BPA has leaked into the water. Even if you get BPA free, a lot of water bottles have other BP components. I don't know them all, guys. I'm not an expert. I'm not a scientist. So that would be better. Maybe best would be, instead of drinking out of plastic, can you drink out of a Code Red stainless steel? Hashtag shameless plug, stainless steel container, or glass. Those are the two things to do. That's a take home.
That's perfect.
That's a good take home. Now, can you get a Brita filter? Can you put a filter on your fridge? A carbon filter, those work really well. Reverse osmosis, I guess, is kind of the gold standard. People really like those. Those are several $100s. But good is not drinking pop. Better is not drinking out of a water bottle, plastic, crunch it up water bottle. Best would be, filter your own water at home, carry it around in a glass container or a stainless steel container. That would be best. So that's an example of good, better, and best as far as water is concerned.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. That is a really great way. I know that I hired a coach, a trainer actually during quarantine to help me get lean and to just kind of take my fitness to the next level. And he had said to me, asked me about the water. He's just at that level. He's at that level where he functions at the best level all the time in 100% of his life. And I just I'll just drink it out of the tap. Ain't no big deal, So
but you have a filter on your fridge.
Right. And we do. Right. So
you're getting filtered water.
I'm definitely moving. I'm probably in that best category. It's just that every single thing that he does in his life is in that best category. And he's at a very top 1%. He's at a very, very, very top level. So that's a great example with the water.
One way you can do this, guys, is I want you to, as you're listening to me, Rebels, I want you to think about, what do I do in my life every day? Okay. What do you do in your life every day? What's a habit? What's something, Christy, that you and I do every day? Here's a great example. How about what we put on our skin? You and I both wear makeup. You wear way better than me, but we both wear makeup. And what are some non-toxic, guys, gluten's in everything. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can find a gluten-free makeup. Maybe you can find a sunscreen that has less junk and chemicals in it. Maybe if you're going to do sunscreen, you can go with more of an organic base or more of a healthy base. There are websites that have all this. I'm not going to give you guys 5 million examples, but that's a habit that Christy and I do every day that we could take our makeup case and go, so I do this every day. I'm going to put some kind of moisturizer on. I'm going to wash my face every day. What can I do that's probably a little bit smarter? That's a habit. Another habit that people do every day. Were you going to say something?
Well, I was going to say, I'd like to just take whatever it is that you do a lot of and make that a good, and make that a good choice.
Right. So whatever it is. Okay. A lot of us drink coffee. Okay. Mm-hmm. So maybe a good is you're not drinking coffee all day long. Okay. That's really good. You're drinking your water.
Cutting back.
Better might be, I'm not going to drink my coffee out of a plastic mug and reheat it in the microwave over and over. That would be better. I like that idea.
I don't know if anybody does that. Do they drink in a plastic mug?
Well, I think some people have some mugs that are questionable.
I think a better would be to not drink the sugar-filled creamer.
Oh yeah.
So
like
good
maybe
would be cutting back.
That would be better.
Not just do a sugar-free creamer instead. And best would be organic heavy cream.
And you have done some of that in your life with creamer.
I noticed that because I drink cream every single day, I was like, I added it up. I'm consuming quite a bit of cream. Let me move to a local dairy farmer that has pure organic, non-GMO, no antibiotics, no additives at all, from a local farmer. And I buy it in a glass jug. It's very expensive. It's $10 for a quart. A liter. I think that's about maybe a quart. And, but I do it gladly because I was consuming heavily.
So that is a great example. Now, listen up, Rebels. If Christy had joined Code Red, and the very first day I said to Christy, you need to go to a local farmer, you need to pick out organic creamer, it's $10 a quart, and you need to be drinking that. She would have been like, well, forget this. I'm going to go back to Starbucks, and even though that's like $7 a drink, and get my $7 drinks. I'm not going to go buy that. Because she wasn't ready for best. Yes. Does that make sense, guys?
Exactly.
But she started out getting away from the sugar to the sugar-free. And then she went to maybe a healthier alternative. And then now she is where she is with a creamer. Do I expect you guys to go straight to $10 creamer? Absolutely not. But I hope you guys are getting an idea of the continuum. And that's something that Christy does every single day. So it's a great example. Tea bags, you guys. Some tea bags, have plastics in them. They call them microplastics.
Ooh.
Yeah. And if you soak them in hot water, they're released. So one of the suggestions I was hearing recently was go ahead and get a stainless steel and just do a couple of little scoops of your own tea in the strainer so you're not being exposed to the microplastics. Now, if you're drinking 1 cup a week, is that important? No. But if you're drinking 3 cups of tea every morning, yeah, you need to be really cautious about what's in the tea bag. Good, better, best. So, let's do the continuum again. Mary joins the challenge. She's drinking tons of sugary, tons of three lumps of sugar. She's drinking 3 lumps of sugar and a spot of cream with every single cup of tea. And then we transition her to, hey, tea with a sugar-free creamer or a sugar substitute, some stevia, some organic stevia. And then we move her to, hey, maybe it's time to think about, Mary, since you love tea, a different kind of delivery method for your tea. But if we had told Mary at the beginning, you have to get organic tea leaves grown by the monks in Mongolia, I mean, nobody's going to do that. No. So it's really a continuum, but there is a way to subtly up your game on the things you're doing all the time.
Now, I noticed when I was at your house that there were a lot of adults, at any given time. We had 9 adults. We were kind of doing a family mini reunion and seeing our different family members. And so I was doing dishes, trying to keep up with dishes because it's a lot, and I don't cook. So it was a lot to do. And I noticed, Carrie, there's no plastic anywhere in your house. So you have moved to glass storage containers.
Right. And guys, this is a super easy way to up your health game. It's just like the water bottles, especially if you're going to heat items in containers. Oh, please don't heat them in plastic. And I'm not saying that you have to do anything crazy, but it's super easy. I literally went to Costco, Sam's Club, wherever, a big box store. I spent, $30, and I just bit the bullet. Oh, guys, it was hard. And I threw out all of my containers, all of my plastic containers, and I got the glass ones. Are they heavier? Yes. But do I use them quite as much as I think I do? No. I mean, you really think you need 8 million lids and 4 million containers, but you really don't. And I switched Brandon over in his lunches because he takes it to work and he heats it up in that container. And he was heating up plastic over and over and over. And I was like, it's a simple fix. Why would I not expose him to less toxins? Now, do I wrap him in organic paper and seal it with beeswax? No, I don't. I mean, we have to live regular lives. But one thing you could do, so good would be, don't heat up your food in the plastic containers.
Well,
take it out.
I think good would be not having lean cuisines.
Yeah, that would be, like reheating leftovers.
Oh, gotcha.
Don't stick them in. Yeah, that would be good. Don't. So then better would be maybe take out the food. Like if I did veggies the night before and I have a little bit left over, don't heat it up in a plastic container, put it onto a plate and stick it in the microwave. And best, guys, would be go to the store, bite the bullet, invest the $30 or $40 and buy the set of glassware. And as much as it pains you, because it was very painful for me, Christy, I just tossed it. I did try to give some away to people. That sounds horrible, like giving away your sugar cookies. But I just was like, this can go somewhere else. So that's a great example of getting rid of toxins. Guys, we have so many toxins around us, toxins in the dust, toxins in the fragrances we put in our home, toxins in just the air quality inside and outside our home. Don't get caught up in all that unless you want to. But that is one small way you can eliminate toxins out of your life. And it's really simple and really affordable.
I noticed that I started taking a look at some of the things I consume a lot of. Cream was one of them. The other thing is I like to put mayonnaise on a lot of mayonnaise is a great source of fat. Mayonnaise has gotten a bad rap over the years. And why? It's just egg and oil. You can make your own even. So a good, better, and best example for me was I took a look at how I was really consuming a lot of mayo. And so good for me was moving to an avocado mayo that didn't have any canola oil in it or soybean oil.
Perfect.
Better was moving to Primal Foods mayo, which is a very clean source. And best would be making my own.
Yeah.
And so
we saw somebody make, Thomas DeLauer made his own mayo, and it's delicious.
It's amazing.
But you got to make it every 3 days. So, hey, Thomas, we're proud of you.
Yeah, right. And so that's a great example. You just take a look at something you consume a lot of. I mean, I'm consuming, sometimes 3 tablespoons or a quarter of a cup of mayo a day while I'm moving from the canola oil, the soybean oil, the toxic oils into avocado oil. That's better. But best was moving into primal foods and then making the switch to just making my own. And so
I love that.
And with Code Red, I think it's a really great example of the way Code Red works is that good, better, and best. A good would be a 10-pound takedown challenge. Better would be a custom program. And best would be the program, our maintenance program. Because in our maintenance program, we take you all the way to we talk about organic. We pull out all the stops because you've already mastered everything. You've mastered your weight loss. You've mastered all of our programs. You are an expert at it. Then we move you into maintenance, and then we really fine tune your life. But you're ready for it at that point. You've been doing Code Red for a long time.
Yeah, you really are, Christy. And I think that a lot of people, like you say, starting out aren't ready for this talk. They aren't ready to go here, but it applies to you. If you're going, listen to me, if you haven't tried Code Red and you're listening to my voice right now, and you are stuck at the drive-thru at Wendy's. Today, I just want you to get a salad. Just get a salad or get the chili instead of getting a hamburger and fries. Mm-hmm. Is that optimal? Is it good, better, best? It's good. It's better than what you would have done yesterday. And I'm proud of you. Instead of the chocolate shake, just ask them for the bottle of water. Please get the chili, the bottle of water. Now, is someone who has a custom program with me and I'm coaching them going to be able to get away with that? No, they can't have the chili from Wendy's. But I am so proud of you for making the choice to try the salad instead of getting the burger and fries. That is a great example, Christy, of how we take people along that journey.
Yeah, we really want to move you in a direction of better choices.
Right.
And the 10-pound takedown is a perfect example of getting you off of Kool-Aid. What's that? Oh, yeah. How do you do it?
Oh, yeah.
We move you from Kool-Aid to water with Ultima.
Yep.
We just move you along. But my gosh, just that change from Kool-Aid to water with Ultima in it is going to be so healing to your body. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And we're so proud of you. And I'll be darned if we're going to let someone come in there and lecture us on the fact that Ultima might have some little whatever the bull crap thing they're coming out. Carrie, remember that story you told me about, or maybe you've had a couple of these, when you worked in the ICU and you had people come in and would only refuse to have any kind of except for a certain kind of bottled water, but then they were smoking out the window of the ICU.
We would have people, they'd be like, I have to have bottled water. I'm like, I'm getting ready to put you on a ventilator because you have end-stage COPD because you've been smoking for 50 years. But let me go grab that bottled water for you. I mean, come on, people. It is. And the other thing I was going to say was about the person that's off the, to the Ultima. And maybe someday you'll have a glass water bottle. But you know what? For now, just drink it out of a plastic cup. Nobody's going to judge you.
Exactly. Just the fact that you got to look at the harmful effects of all that sugar in a Kool-Aid versus drinking water with Ultima out of a plastic cup. We are moving in a direction of better choices. And
now,
I really want to protect the people on the challenge from getting shamed at all. Because as long as you're eating off the food list and you're drinking your water and we're tracking, I mean, my gosh, we celebrate what you are doing because you're not having the lean cuisines and the hot pockets and the caramel macchiatos and cake pops anymore. Talk about a huge step for you.
Christy, we have I believe I made it into a wristband or a sticker and it says better than before.
Yes.
Better than before. That's all, guys. It's not about all the craziness. However, if you are, let me just say this though, if you are a Code Red Rebel and you have been doing this lifestyle for a while and you're looking to up your game and you're like, ooh, I like what Carrie and Christy are saying about this, that, the coffee, the creamer, the water, the plastics. There's a great book out, Dr. Mark Hyman, and I don't know if you can see this, but it says, what the heck should I eat? Food? What the heck should I eat? And I love at the top, Christy, it says a clear roadmap for the confused eater. So let me just kind of give you a quick overview of why I like this. This book will help you in ways that Christy and I do not have the knowledge. It's a little bit out of our wheelhouse. It'll help you deep dive into how can you up your eating game. And what I like about the book is he does talk about things like organic, not organic, but he'll list like vegetables, 25 vegetables, and he'll say, if you can, just try to buy the first 5 organic. If you can. If you can't do that, then buy a good food wash or make your own food wash out of hydrogen peroxide and just wash your food. And so I like that he gives, but he gets into, for instance, fish and seafood, which we all know there's a big problem with big tuna and mercury in the water. However, like Christy said, if you were eating Taco Bell, crunchy tacos, 5 of them for dinner, I just want you to eat a can of tuna. I don't care. Like that is not a big issue, but maybe down the road, it's something to consider. So if you're ready to up your game, he talks about what kind of seafood gives you the science behind it. What gives you the best bang for your buck? 8 things you should know about fish. Talking about these varieties are high in omega-6s, these varieties, and it deep dives into every food group. This is a great book. So if you want to go, gosh, I'd like to up my vegetable game. How do I start? Do I just buy organic? He talks about frozen versus canned versus all the nutritional values. Grab this book by Dr. Hyman. It's super helpful. But again, not for the person just starting out on Code Red. I don't want you to worry about this. But if you've been doing it for a while and you want to start, you're like, I eat a lot of green beans. I want to look and see if I can get them from a farmer down the road. Maybe I can go to my farmer's market and get that. You know, I love my bacon. How can I make it better? Ooh, Bob raises pigs and he'll sell me a half a hog and I'm going to have my own bacon made. That's a way to go from good, better to best.
Such a great example. And again, what I really love about Code Red is that we are right for everybody.
Yeah.
Like they say, well, not everybody's your target niche. That's true. We have a target niche, but the proper human diet, real food, water, and sleep, those are the foundational beliefs of Code Red. Real food, water, and sleep. We believe that's right for everybody. And I love the way we bring people in, sis. And we bring them along so carefully and so in a steady way, and nobody feels overwhelmed and nobody feels like, oh, I can't do this. I love the way we bring people through. It's 30 days on the challenge. Then you move to a custom program. And then when you lose your weight, we move you into a maintenance program and we introduce you to exercise. And then we start upping the game even further.
Right. And I think it's really unique in that we really try not to exclude anybody from any socioeconomic status, anybody in any situation really has an opportunity to make better choices. And they're simple. Like if all you have is hot dogs and pepperoni and canned green beans, then eat hot dogs, pepperoni, and canned green beans. It is fine if that's where you are overeating the Hot Pocket. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. So we are not taking anybody out of it. That's what I don't like about other programs. Like I've said in other podcasts, Christy, when we were growing up, Mom put me on Jenny Craig. I think it was Jenny Craig. It could have been Weight Watchers. And she had to buy fish. I didn't even like fish. We didn't have the money for fish. So immediately Mom bought it. I knew that Mom and Dad didn't have the money. It excluded me from that. Requiring me to eat fish excluded our family, and we didn't have a lot of money, as we've talked about. It excluded me from doing that program because I couldn't eat Melba toast, by the way, and fish. So we don't want to exclude anybody from Code Red at all, ever. You don't have to eat Melba toast, so don't worry.
I'm just racking my brains trying to remember what that is. But
it's that brown, really hard rye.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, don't worry. You don't want to waste on that. It's not worth it. Some people are going to be like, dear Code Red, I love Melba Toast from the Melba Toast Association.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, right. I do like the fact that on Code Red, if our food list, if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. But we do offer certain foods that do your health no good. They do nothing but harm for your health, like grains, like sugar. We do take you off the foods that are going to be nothing but tear you down and ruin you. But as far as forcing you to eat something like the tilapia, I mean, that is just not us. And it's so funny to me. I remember that story, sis. And I love that about Code Red. I just love that we're so inclusive and we we bring people along. So we do. It's a perfect example of good, better, and best. The good is the challenge, better is a custom program, and best is our maintenance program, where we really fine tune everything and get very granular with it.
Yeah. And it's really the best of, it's really a great progression for everybody. Like you said, it really is.
We want to move you in a direction of better choices, guys. I'm sure we've made that clear by now, but a 10-pound takedown is the perfect entry point for this. It is getting to where you are cleaning out your cupboards, and that we're starting to drink our water. People always ask me, what if I can do nothing else? What can I do? You can start drinking water, because I know all of you guys can do that.
Amen.
It's going to start crowding out. The great thing about drinking a gallon of water a day is it crowds out the bad. And eventually you start replacing it with good stuff, but it's crowding out the bad. And that's what's great about water. Everybody needs to drink their water. Everybody needs to track their sleep, and you need to track your weight every day. And just those simple things that we introduced you to on the challenge is the perfect starting point. Don't worry about a custom program. Don't worry about maintenance. Don't worry about your loose skin. Don't worry about muscle tone. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Don't borrow trouble. Let us ease you into this lifestyle with a challenge, with a 10-pound takedown challenge. Any final thoughts about good, better, and best, sis?
It just reminded me of somebody said to me the other day, I'm very overwhelmed. I can't do Code Red right now. And I said, can you drink your water every day?
Yes.
And they were like, yeah, Carrie. I said, then just commit to me that you're going to drink your water every day. Just do better than yesterday, Christy. Just better than before. That's all I ask.
I love that. Just move in a direction of better decisions. Guys, I personally am feeling encouraged. And, I got to tell you, sis, if I can just... can I just say that I'm embarrassed after coming home from your house to know that I store everything in plastic containers, and I didn't even know that.
I don't judge you. There's no judgment.
I know you don't. I know you don't judge me, but I'm judging myself like, wow, Christy, you could be doing a bit better. So I'm going to be heading over to Costco and getting those really neat containers with the snap-on lids that you had. Yeah. I think that was excellent. And I guess I just never really knew about the BPA. I knew about it from the...
You don't know. Yeah.
I kind of heard, like the movies and stuff, but I just never even thought about it. And I'm so glad that you said that, because I can make better decisions now for my health. You know what it also is? It's something that we can't see in the mirror. So we don't know that there's damage being done.
Until somebody says something. But Christy, remember when we were growing up, everyone out there that's old school, can I get an amen? Who grew up with the moms and dads that rinsed out the butter containers, wash them, and that's what we stored our food in? See, I didn't know there were actually separate containers until I was out of the house and married, that you didn't store things in butter containers. You mean you go to the store and buy containers? I thought if you wanted containers, you used up butter and you washed that and you used it. So we come from humble beginnings.
Come on, country crop. Come on, country crop. Carrie, we were raised on margarine. I can't believe we're not dead.
Oh my gosh. And we're both okay. And we're both healthy.
And we're both healthy.
That's so funny.
We care about each and every one of you. We really do. We love you. Thank you for the ratings and reviews. And 10poundtakedown.com, we have monthly challenges. That's where we want to see you. That's the best place to start in moving in a direction of better choices. You do not need to be overwhelmed, because the great thing about a challenge is our average weight loss is 12.2 pounds for the month. So you can lose a lot of weight and start to heal your body and get off your diabetic medication by just doing the simple challenge rules and following the foods list. So you don't need to go all the way to the extreme in order to see results and have healing in your body. So join our next challenge. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you're not subscribed already, please be sure to do that right now. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you could do me a quick favor and rate and review this podcast. That would be just so helpful. Speaking of health, let me know if I can help you. Go to coderedlifestyle.com, check out my programs, and see what we can do for you. Until next time, Rebel on.